Give me the moo, give me the moo, give me the moo. Hello everyone, it's Justin, your magical spiritual Negro of your dreams. Anyway, so I don't have too much stuff now. Sweet, that's a good problem to have. So let's just jump right into it. What is God saying today? Or when you hear this, it's probably the more accurate thing to say. Because I tell you, there's been times where I have gotten a word from God and it wasn't the day that I posted it, it was like another day that I posted it, and people are like, bruh, how did you know? And I'd be like, I don't, he does. You know, that's the beauty of this whole Christian thing, is that, like, you know, trying to take credit for stuff that, you know, you had no conception of is just stop. Anyway, so, but I think what he's saying today is, because I know that for last week was really long, but he didn't want us to let that go. He didn't want to let that go. You know, sometimes God does not want to let things go because we'll become slack in it. We'll not think it's a big deal, and then when things are going crazy, start to get upset and start crying and weeping and gnashing teeth and everything, and you know, oh dear, thank you. And it becomes this thing that it doesn't need to become. Actually, hold on just a second. But anyway, so this is what I believe that God's saying now. And if you've heard the same thing in the spirit, you can go ahead and comment below. This is a communal body type of thing. Nah, I mean, so, you know, you guys can interject, you know, just don't come at me with a bunch of rules and regulations. The Bible is there to help you think, you know, alongside with God. To help you think, not to follow the rules like a child. Children follow rules, adults think and devise a plan. If you read the Word, you can begin to understand the will of God for your life and for my life and whatever else. Because you've done enough work in terms of reading His Word and understanding His thought process and His will to know that, okay, it's a lot of things that are, I won't say bending or quote unquote the rules. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking more about, you know, He's conscious. You know, He said that if you drink the sacraments, then you die. You know, in an unworthy manner. If you drink the sacraments, in terms of, you know, that first Levitical line, drink the sacraments, you'll die. David drinks the sacraments, doesn't die. Why? Context. That's why. Had to look it up, but you know, there's a context as to why that didn't happen to him. So, because of that, we have to start thinking like alongside with God. So if you want to come at me with a bunch of rule books, what's up, Pharisee? And that's not to say that you can't criticize me. I'm just saying that, you know, please do your homework. Don't at me, because I've been trained with, you know, Ravi Zacharias, rest in peace. Trained with some really good teachers, Paul Washer, all those guys. You know, I'm not coming up from a place of just complete and total ignorance. I may state the wrong thing, but I'm very, very careful. Anyway, all that out of the way. So let's jump into it. I think what God is saying is that Oh dear. Oh, okay. I think what God is saying is that if there's a covenant that we're not adhering to. And we all know what covenant that is. So what does it mean to be part of a covenant? Right? It's a bond. It is a irreconcilable bond. Now the problem is that a lot of times we forget that we're in a covenant with God. A blood covenant with God. That's not some small thing. That means that there is direct action attached to the blood bond that He has formed with us. And He's done so, doggone it. And He's done so verbally. Now remember, His word creates. His word is who He actually is. It is a leading force in the creation of existence. The Word. We know the Word is our Savior. That's how powerful the Word is. So, this idea of this covenant we have with God, it's very, very powerful. Now I'm going on with this about this because I feel as though He's wanting me to just be introspective when it comes to really defining what this actually is, what this actually means. It's no joke. It's a huge, massive deal. So I try and get rid of these doggone monsters right now. But it's a huge, massive deal. It is nothing to sneeze at, so to speak. There's assurance there. And because there's assurance there, that means that we can boldly go. That means that we don't have to worry about if this and if that. So why do we as believers a lot of times act so doggone scared? Because we forget about His covenant. And I find it interesting He's speaking in the way that He's speaking about that. Because, oh dear, that's a very large one. Because attached to that is this thought process of maybe forgetting God's covenant and remembering the enemy's threats. Right? There's this idea of well, I know God said this, but I'm not going, it's like, it's not good enough. You know what I mean? Yeah, God said this, but He says a lot of things. You know, I mean, and don't get all, you know, like, I would never. Yeah, you would. That's why you haven't done the thing that He asked you to do yet. Right? That's why you're still hiding behind your 9 to 5, right? I'm I'm not hating on 9 to 5s. I'm just telling you that you can sit idle doing work. You know? Jesus talked about it. Let me bury my parents first. Let me do this first. Let me do that first. You know? Even God in the Old Testament talks about the same thing. This idea of the banquet, being invited to the banquet. And lots of them make excuses saying that, you know, I've got this to do and I've got that to do. And it made the king mad. It's like, hold up. Actually, I don't know if that's parable or Old Testament. I'm sorry, I apologize. I had to brush up on that one. Look it up and tell me in the comments. But anyway. You know, that's... Oh, sweet. Sweet. There's this idea of, you know, like... You can, again, be in this arena of safety and security and everything, and still... I don't know, it's like, it puts you to sleep. It's like, I feel safe and I feel secure, but am I really safe and am I really secure? What am I secure in? Am I secure in my own ability, or am I secure in the Word of God? Am I secure in my ability, or am I secure in the promises of God, the covenant of God? What am I actually secure in? And we spend a lot of time making excuses because we forget about the covenant. And I don't know, I feel embarrassed about that as a believer sometimes, you know, like when I straight up forget that kind of stuff, you know, it's like, man, I am tripping about X, Y, and Z for no discernible reason, but tripping about it, scared to death. There's things I've been wanting to do and contemplating to do and things like that, you know, for a while now, and I tell you, it's like the hardest thing in the world to do. And it shouldn't be, but it is. So I forget God's covenant, His covenant now. Think about that. It is His direct word. He's like, I promise, this is what it is, this is what it ain't. Like, bruh, that's a different level right there, man. And that's not enough. I mean, it is enough. We just act like it's not enough. We don't want it to be enough. You know, like, there's so many things to say about that. It's bizarre. Oh, where'd you come from, sir? But I truly wish that we could actually lean in on His promises and lean in on a covenant. It's such a good word, y'all. It really, really is. I just wish and hope and pray that we would lean in on that thing, on that covenant group, that covenant that He has. It's amazing. It's extraordinary. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But anyway, I don't want to drag this thing out, but please, He wants us to just sit and contemplate about that. Just sit and contemplate about that. I always find I find it interesting the way He does this show is that, like, it's on and off. It's on and off. You know, I can't really bank on this thing in terms of, you know, when it's going to happen and when it's not going to happen. You know, I don't have that. I don't have that insight to know what's going to happen. I just have the instruction. And really that's going to be enough. But I just have the instruction, and that's all that I have. So, and last time, you know, he was asking us to contemplate some things, and then I don't think that that happened. I don't think that we took it seriously. I do know one thing, that God is not one to just kind of mince words. You know, he doesn't just say something for the sake of saying something. He says something with full intention for you to listen and obey. And if you don't, he's not like going to strike you down with like thunderbolts and things like that. That's Zeus. Get out of your Greek mindset. Good grief. It is, but it is going to be a matter of, okay, until you follow this, why am I giving you further instruction? Until you do this, why am I telling you more? Until you do this, what is the purpose of me giving you more wisdom? So I think he wants us to just contemplate that. Just sit and contemplate and imagine what it would be and who we would be if we for real, like for real, sunk our teeth into that covenant. You know? What would life be like? He wants us to really visualize it. He wants us to like get into it. You know, like sometimes you be like daydreaming, you know, and you know, you're just kind of out there daydreaming, thinking about this, thinking about that, dreaming about this, dreaming about that, and everything. You know, no, he wants you to think. He wants you to daydream with him. Imagine what your life would be like, even if it's for 5 minutes, in terms of you actually sitting there and thinking about it. Even if it's for 5 minutes, what would your life be like if you for real believed in the covenant that you're part of? That blood-bought covenant. You know, what would your life be like? What would my life be like? How different would it be? Would it be interesting? Would it be extraordinary? What would it be? I think that we would be doing a great injustice if we didn't take this opportunity to really reflect on that. So let's come back next week, or next time that we come up here, or that post up here, I should say. Let's really actually write down and begin to contemplate that, and write down in the comments about what God shows you, or what you would imagine it would be like if you for real believed in the covenant. What would you start? What's the ministry that you would start? That was very violent. What is the ministry that you would start? What are the classes maybe you would start? What are the things you would do? If you had no doubt, like Gwen Stefani, he had no doubt about those things that you're feeling nervous about. If you had no doubt about those contingencies that you were worrying about, that kept you from focusing in on what God has for you, what would it be like? Who would you be in that scenario, in those scenarios? What would you accomplish in those scenarios? Imagine, like, for real, imagine. Don't think about, you know, what you're gonna eat next, but imagine that. So, let me know something. I'll let you guys know something next time that I do the show. And it'll be a a wonderful blood-bought time, I think. Yeah, there, fella. I got at you. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. If I don't die here. Might be signing out for permanently. Jeez. I got him. But thank you guys so much for your time. You can go ahead and follow me on the Instagrams and on the Twitters and on the things, and actually just kind of go to justinfoxmedia.com and you'll find out all the ways you can follow me and support the ministry and all that good stuff. So love you guys very much, and I'll catch you on Remix. Bye bye.